All right, we have time for another dumb argument that's brought up all the time over the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. And this one is Kyle Rittenhouse, when he was crying, he didn't even show any tears. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
And you may be wondering, why are we seeing a picture of this man when we're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse? I'll show you in a moment. But in the meantime, let's go back and take a look at a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse on the stand after he had been crying. Right here is distinctly a teardrop. You can see it very easily. Let's blow that up even more. Sure looks like a teardrop to me. And I know what you're thinking. Well, that's not a whole lot of crying there. That's not a lot of tears. I see one teardrop. Let's take a look at another incident that we can compare to. We're going to examine the testimony of Dorian Johnson. Now, who is Dorian Johnson? Well, if you don't know the name, he was walking with Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. They had just robbed a store. Actually, Michael Brown robbed the store. I don't think Dorian Gray was involved in that, but he was with Michael Brown at the time. And of course, Officer Darren Lewis drives up in his patrol car, and according to Dorian Johnson, Officer Lewis executed Michael Brown. Michael Brown had his arms up and was telling, "Don't shoot." And Officer Lewis just opened fire, blew his brains all over the place. And of course, that started the Ferguson riots. It started Black Lives Matter. Everybody bought totally into Dorian Johnson's testimony. In fact, many witnesses there heard what Dorian Johnson had said and then claimed to be eyewitnesses to the actual incident. And of course, what did they say? Michael Brown had his hands up and he was begging not to be shot. Okay, so here's an interview of Dorian Johnson, and Dorian Johnson is talking about his friend Michael Brown getting shot, and he's going to have an emotional breakdown here. Listen. Gee, I don't see any tears. Wait a minute. Does anybody see any tears on this man? He just got done crying, but I don't see anything. And yet, based on this man's word, people rioted, people have been assaulted, they have burned down buildings, and yet no tears. And of course, the argument is silly to begin with. What Kyle Rittenhouse was experiencing on the stand was a panic attack, probably caused by his PTSD. And panic attacks don't necessarily come with tears. This man is crying, or supposed to be. And yet, no tears at all. The fact that there are no tears shed here didn't bother anybody from totally accepting what he said. So it's a dumb argument. First of all, Kyle Rittenhouse did have a tear come down his cheek. We know that. We could see it. Second of all, it's not uncommon for panic disorders to have no tears. And finally, one of the anti-Kyle's own compadres here had an emotional breakdown while giving an interview on the death of his friend, Michael Brown, and there's no tears at all. Like my video, subscribe to my channel. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to start covering a lot more of the Ferguson deal, including eyewitness testimonies in the upcoming videos.